guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome, and if you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Luz, and in today's video I am showing you all my foundation collection. I will share with you the foundations that currently match my skin tone, the ones that do not, and the one that is my perfect match. I will share that with you guys all through swatching them on my chest. I am going to swatch every single foundation, including liquid and powder, as well as the CC creams and tinted moisturizers that I currently own against my chest. Just for reference, I am an NC42 in MAC foundations. I am throwing that out there just because I know that most people have been color matched at MAC at least once, and they know their foundation shade. And if you haven't, you can always just go in there and color match yourself, and then that way you can compare your tones with other YouTubers or other people that do makeup videos online. If you're a similar skin tone or within that same range, you can compare and see if something that you see online, if it's going to suit you or not. That's something that I do a lot of the times. I go in there to see if maybe their foundation shade can match mine, and ta-da, perfect match. So if you are interested in seeing and watching me swatch all my foundations on my chest, then keep on watching. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Wet n Wild PhotoFocus foundation. I did originally purchase it in the shade Desert Beige, and then during the winter season I got very light, so I mixed it in with Bronze Beige. This one here is Bronze Beige. As you can see, it is a very light against my skin tone, but I do mix it in with Desert Beige. Bronze Beige is a medium tan warm, and Desert Beige is a medium dark warm. So this one is the next shade down from this one, and as you can see, it's quite a big gap. So during the winter time, I couldn't find a shade that matched me, so I did have to mix these two together. During the summer, Desert Beige is the perfect match. Next up is the Maybelline Fit Me in the shade 240. This is a newer foundation for me, and it's this one right here. As you can see, it is more on the warm side. I think that the shade is right up my alley, but the tone is a little bit too warm for my liking. I like it to be a little bit more on the brown side, just like the Desert Beige from Wet n Wild. I like how it looks. It applies better with the Beauty Blender, but the shade is, this is the closest one that I can find. And then, you know, as you know, testing foundations at the drugstore is not very convenient. And then next up is the LA Girl Pro Coverage HD High Definition Longwear Illuminating Foundation, and that is this one right here. It is very warm, and this one I have it in the shade Tan. It is a medium to full coverage, smooth, long wearing, flawless looking finish. So this one it got in the shade Tan. Again, it is very warm against my skin tone. I need it to be a little bit more neutral. This one, I believe that there are lots and lots of shades. However, I couldn't find one that matched me, and I think when I bought this I was very tan. I matched it against my palm instead of my neck, which was a big mistake, and it is a little warm. This shade I can work with once I have the concealer on and the powder especially. It looks pretty good, but I do wish that I had it in a little bit less of an orange color. And next is my perfect shade. This is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Aruba, and that's this shade. As you can see, you can't even tell I have a shade there. That's how perfect it is, and that's what I aim for, and it is the perfect color. It is on the neutral side, and I'm looking for more foundations that are on the neutral side. But some foundations that are on the neutral side tend to be a little bit too pink, so then I decide to choose a warm foundation. That's the case with most drugstore foundations there. I really like this tone, and I want to compare all my foundations to that tone now because it's my perfect match. Okay, so the next set of shades are starting with this one. This one is the Marc Jacobs Marvelous Mousse Foundation in number 46 Golden Deep. This is my least favorite foundation out of all of them that I currently have. I don't like the way it looks on my skin. It just looks like it sits on top of my skin instead of being one with my skin. The shade is not a perfect match either. I find it to be the right tone. It's just a little bit too light for me. And I like how it's warm, not an orange warm. It's like a nice neutral warm. However, like I said, it needs to be a little bit deeper. I did get this one at TJ Maxx where there was not a whole lot of assortment of shades. And I figured Golden Deep sounds deep enough for me. And it's definitely not deep enough. I don't think they have a very good color range with this foundation. Don't quote me, but I think there's only one more shade deeper than this. This one and this one are the Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation 24-Hour Wear. This one is in the shade Golden, and this one is in the shade Sun Beige. So during the winter season, I was wearing the shade Sun Beige by itself. As I've been spending a little bit more time outdoors, I have to mix it with Golden. Golden is the right shade, except it's a little bit too warm, and Sun Beige has a little bit more of that neutrality to it. So I do like the way these two look mixed together. I always now have to mix them together. Maybe in the summertime, as time goes by, I will get a deeper shade to mix in with Golden. But so far, these two together is my perfect shade at the moment. And I absolutely love this foundation. I have a review up for this foundation. It's very affordable, very full coverage, easy to blend, wears nice throughout the day. It does wear for a very long time, and it doesn't get extremely oily. Next up is the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir in the shade 757. That's this darkest shade here. So this one is definitely my summer shade. At this time, I can't wear this alone. I have to mix it in. But the tone is perfect tone. I absolutely love that it's not too warm, even though it is on the deeper side. It's not orange, and the way it looks and feels on the skin is beautiful. I do want to pick this up in a lighter shade. Now that I think of it, I haven't worn it in a long time. It looks very similar to the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear foundation as far as application and the way it looks on the skin. It's very similar. This one is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Longwear foundation in the shade 310. This one is a pretty good match. It does tend to look orange when you first apply it, and then it kind of turns a little bit darker without turning to orange on the skin. I do wish it was a tiny bit more neutral. And then this very last one is brand new. The mailman just dropped it off. This is the Huda Beauty #FullFilter High Coverage Cream Foundation in the shade 420G Toffee. I went into the Sephora store and I told them that I wanted the Huda Beauty. They were all out at the Sephora store. I said, well, I know they have them online. And she color matched me based off of my perfect foundation shade, which is the NARS Radiant Longwear in the shade Aruba. And she said that this is my color. Now that I just got it, it's definitely too dark for me. I might be able to pull it off wearing mixing these two together. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should return it or if I should just wait and see how it looks on the skin. On the actual face, I haven't worn it, and that's that. These two look quite similar, the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir and this one, maybe this one's just a little bit lighter. But I do like that it's not too orange. It's a little bit on the neutral side, even though it is a golden shade. It doesn't pull off too orange, which I'm quite happy it does not. But compared to the Fenty Beauty, they don't match at all. Let me pull it up next to the NARS, because I did tell her that I wanted it to be the shade that the NARS foundation is. Yeah, it definitely is not the same color. The Huda Beauty is for sure darker than my NARS Aruba. So I'm getting foundation all over my brow. And now we're going to do the only cushion foundation that I have, which is the Wet n Wild Mega Cushion Foundation, which with SPF 15. And this one is in the shade Honey Beige, Medium Tan Warm. That's a really good match. Next up, we're going to do tinted moisturizers, CC creams, BB creams, and a skin tint that I have. So let's dive in. First one up is the Covergirl Clean Matte BB Cream for oily skin in shade Medium 540. And that is this one right here. It is a little bit light for me. I do feel like it was more of a winter shade. They do have a shade darker than this. I think it's medium deep. I am gonna pick that one up to mix in with this one and to wear it into the summer months. I might, I'm not sure. But it is a little bit more on the pink side. That is for sure. And then the following one, this one here, is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue Tinted Hydrating Gel Cream with SPF 30. It is a tiny bit too orange for me right now, but I can definitely mix it in with the BB cream from CoverGirl. This one is very lightweight, and I mostly like it because it has that SPF, and it is a tinted SPF. It does tend to get a little bit oily for me throughout the day, so I do sometimes have to set it, but it is a pretty good tinted tinted gel or moisturizer type of thing with SPF. And then the next one is the MAC Next to Nothing Face Color. So this one was geared more as a skin tint. It's not really a foundation, so I characterize mine as a skin tint, and that's this one right here. And it is in the shade Medium Dark. That's that. I don't know if they still have it in store at MAC. I picked mine up at a CCS or something like that, which is a cosmetic store that they sell like special limited edition stuff or stuff that's gonna be discontinued. They have like MAC, and they have Estee Lauder, and they have different brands, Clinique, Tom Ford, Bobbi Brown, like different brands, and they just sell it at a very cheaper price. I think this one must have been maybe $12. So they had this shade, and it does match a little bit. It is a little bit darker than my current skin color, but I think once it's on the skin, on the face, you can't really see it that dark, because I've worn this by itself and you can't really see the difference, but on my chest you definitely can. And then it does look a little bit different on camera than it does in person as well. And then the last one is the Kate Somerville Illumikate CC Cream with Broad Spectrum SPF 50. And this one is in the shade Medium, and that is this one right over here. This one fits pretty good. Once I start getting a little bit more sun, it's definitely gonna be too light. I do like this one, but I don't like it on its own. I have to set it because it has that illuminating factor. It can make me look super duper greasy. It does come off a little bit gray, as most CC creams tend to do, because it is geared to like neutralize your skin tone. and for some reason they just come off a little bit gray. But once it's on the skin, like on camera, I'm looking at the monitor and it doesn't look as gray as it does in person. Like I'm looking at myself through this little mirror here, and when I look at it here, it looks super gray, but when I look at it on camera, it doesn't look as gray. It looks a little bit more neutral. So that is something to note. And these are all already dried, so this is the final color. For CC creams, I find that even though you don't find a perfect match, because they're so sheer, when you have it on the skin, it just shears out and just balances out your skin tone. You don't really need a perfect match because you can't really see that high coverage contrast, as opposed to a very full coverage foundation that you will definitely need to blend down your neck if it doesn't match. So that's that about that. Let's move on to my foundation powders, and we're all done. Okay, so now moving on to powders. I'm going to start off with the Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten Foundation in the shade Tan. This one is a brand new one for me. It's this one right here. I just got it in the mail as well. I picked it up in the shade Tan, and it does seem to be just a tiny bit darker. I'm sure as the weather gets nicer, I'm going to be spending more time outdoors, so therefore I'm going to be getting a little bit more color. But from what I can tell, it has a really nice undertone, not too orange, not too pink. It's got that perfect neutral yellowish undertone for my skin. I really think it's going to be one of my go-to foundations during the summer for those days that I don't want to wear a liquid foundation. And then the next one up is my MAC Studio Fix in NC42, and that is my perfect shade right there. The Studio Fix NC42 is my perfect shade. I don't have it in the liquid, but I do have it in the powder, and it just blends right into my skin. You can't even see it. It's nice and neutral with a little bit of yellow, and it's not too warm, not too pink. It's just blends right into my chest. Next is the Covergirl Vitalist Healthy Powder in the shade 742 Medium Beige. This one definitely runs a little bit darker. Medium Beige is this shade, where am I? Right here. And this is the medium, and as you can see, it is a little bit dark. And a little bit more on the orange side, so something to consider when I wear the foundations that are a little bit more on the neutral side, or that are a little bit more on the pink side. I definitely rather wear this powder on top of that to set it, because it is going to warm it up. But medium, this is a little bit too dark for a medium, in my opinion. But it does give a nice little warmth. Sometimes my foundation, when I put it on, I need a little bit of warmth without going in with too much bronzer, and that's when I use that powder. It's very nicely fine milled, and it has quite a bit of coverage. And then the next one here is the Cosmetic Celebration Foundation Illumination in the shade Tan. As you can see, it is very pink on the chest. You can't see it as pink on screen. I am looking at it in the monitor, and it does not look pink at all. But when I look at it in person here through my mirror, it definitely looks pink. You can't even see it being the tiniest bit tan. Maybe if I blend it. Yeah, once I blend it in, it does warm up a tiny bit, but because oh, and it does have shimmer. So it doesn't have shimmer, but it does have that illumination factor to it. I like to use that one by itself without anything underneath. Maybe some concealer, but most of the time just pop real quick, put on a little bit of brows and a lip gloss, and I'm good to go. But I really like it. I just don't like how pink it's looking up against my chest, but once I have it on the skin, on the face, it doesn't look like that. And then the last one is the Maybelline Superstay Better Skin Transforming Powder in the shade Rich Tan, and that is this one right over here. I find like this one is also a really great match for our skin tone. It's a tiny bit dark, but not too much, and I haven't tried the next shade down, so I don't know how that looks like. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like it, please do not forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you did like this video also, please go ahead and subscribe if you have not done so already. I am trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. If you can help me out, that would mean so much to me. And while you're at it, please hit that notification bell. It will notify you every single time I upload a video. And if you want to keep watching any of my other videos, I have a few recommendations right here for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed.